I seriously just wanted to go home.
She keeps staying and she keeps wanting to leave. It's exhausting. It's like dealing with a kid.
I just want to go home.
And I'm like, leave. If you want to leave, go. No one's making you be here.
Okay, Brittany, your turn. Your last jump, babe. The next one's gonna be on a plane.
She keeps running off and crying and acting like she's the victim. No one's victimizing you here. You're victimizing yourself. And I am saying victimizing, but I know it's victimizing. Wait, did I say it right?
Yes, the second time.
Oh, you caught it?
Yeah, no,
Stop
only because
judging
you
me.
pointed it out.
I don't judge you, don't.
I'm not judging.
Yes, you are.
You pointed it out, then I'm like, oh, it's cuter the way you said it.
Stop.
I would have left if I were standing in Britney's shoes at that moment.
It was pretty intense for Britney, and it was like, at some point, I was only seeing red.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, Britney.
So if I was feeling that intense about it, I'm sure everyone was, and I think she felt the energy of that. Who wants to be on a girls' trip where everyone hates you?
I've been on the receiving end of multiple, like, all-person attacks. It's not fun. You have to be on the thickest skin and, like, you know,
Clearly
reality outside of.
I mean, I was literally hyperventilating. I was like, get me the freak out. On the one hand, like, I was beaten to a pulp, and I felt like the kid that was the last picked on the team. You know, it felt like, I really shouldn't be here. And then Heather was just like, I'll ride with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was really kind.
It was like I was last man standing.
Only 2 people per ATV, please.
No. I was happy to. It's a weird thing. Like, I want to champion the underdog. You know, I want to be the one that kind of shows up for somebody when everybody else, like, isn't there. But, like, I still was mad at her. I know, but it was, you know.
But I wasn't in a place to
No
do
one
that
was.
at that point.
At least you had the decency to reserve judgment.
I judged a little bit.
I will never trust you again. I will never, ever, ever. Brittany, I will be worried every time I'm with you, you're recording me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You had a van full of judges. So, I mean, of course you're going to. It's natural. I expected it from Angie. I feel like she's a little thirsty. But the thing that hurt me the most was Meredith.
You need to leave. I've had enough of you.
I thought that Meredith and I had something, we had a budding flame of a relationship that I was fostering. You know, we got each other coffees in the morning. We both loved to read the news in the morning. We both talk about fashion and, I mean, different stuff that we have in common. And I felt like we had each other's backs. And I didn't also know that she had this narrative about me.
You chose to record us without our knowledge. Why would I not start to question if you put something in my room at this point?
Well, I think she was like, why would someone insinuate that I have a eating disorder
Which I
when I
wasn't
don't?
trying to do.
No, but it just came across that way. So she was already defensive towards you. But I mean, I think it went a little bit too far.
I mean, look, I was very upset. I don't think I was wrong for being upset, but I definitely could have softened my delivery. And
It took us all by surprise.
I apologize for it now. I was very harsh.
The behavior after, like when we were at the falls, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like so awkward.
I was like the
well, because you seemed like you were like, ha ha ha.
Look at this girl.
She wouldn't leave, she got in her little bikini and just was
And then she had like
splashing
a wedgie.
You know, that's a funny thing is she just does this weird stuff and then she goes on like nothing happened.
So after all of this, where do the 2 of you stand with Britney today?
I mean, I'm at peace with Britney. Like, I don't have a problem with her because I don't think there was ill intent. But I feel like she's a little bit of a wild card where I just, like, don't even know what's going to ruffle her or how she's going to react to something or behave in a situation. And usually I feel like with most of my friends, I have a clue. Even the ones in our group that I wouldn't call my friends, I have a clue how they may react. And with her, it's a wild card.
I wouldn't trust Britney as far as I can see her. That's just where I am. For me, it's like trust issues, and if you didn't build them up, you definitely tore them down. She doesn't tell the truth.
No, she doesn't. You know, she doesn't. She starts fights, she picks fights.
If she's accusing me of that, then that's probably because that's what she's doing with Sean. Child. Oh, okay.
But then she's doing she's victimizing, and you know, she does. And it's hard to be friends with someone like that because whatever you say, they're gonna take it and run with it and then make you the bad guy.
I think that there's a hesitancy because you can still cause damage even if you're not being malicious. I don't know if that's something that she can correct or if that's just kind of what follows her wherever she is in a group. But, you know, time will tell.
Meredith had genuine concerns that someone was listening to her in her room, in her conversations.
He chose to record us without our knowledge. Why would I not start to question if you put something in my room at this point?
In the history of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life, this might top everything.
This is worse than the bathtub.
Who here has a room with a bathtub in it? I do.
Me too.
You all saw that I was white as a ghost, covered in blankets in the middle of an island, very ill. I said I'd like to warm up, I'd like to take a bath, and somehow I got shoved into one without a bathtub.
I was laughing so hard because I mean it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't do anything.
You didn't bug her room?
I did. I was thinking about no, I didn't bug her room.
I do understand that on this trip there's so much going on and I am saying inane stupidity too, but to think that Britani of all people has the wherewithal to bug Meredith's room is hysterical to me. I mean, if she said Heather or somebody else with a little chutzpah and gumption, maybe, but I just can't picture Britani hiding a listening device.
I consider myself a master of many trades, but the truth is, I know where to look.
Look under the drawer. Get down and look underneath. No. What about there? Anything? No. Anything up in there? No.
And I don't know if I know where to look because of the books I've read or the television shows I've watched, or if it's just pure instinct. I don't want to discount any of those.
It might be genetic instinct.
It could be genetics. My dad was in the FBI. My dad did counterintelligence.
I was leading at.
So genetically, I have inherited a little bit of a special agent skill, but I usually take your concerns seriously, and I felt like, listen, this is something we can figure out. If there is a recording device in your room, it's going to be in a light fixture. It's going to be on a nightstand. It's going to be on a television. It's going to be around electronics, right? This is something that we could do a cursory sweep and go to bed tonight with a relative level of confidence that there were no obvious recording devices in your room. And, Britani's a mixed bag. So, I'm learning more about Britani every day, and maybe she really wanted to get to know this group on an intimate level, and she's taking it to recording devices. I didn't believe that there were going to be any, but I wanted the chance to make sure there weren't.
I mean, you guys don't know me yet, really, that well, and you don't know my heart, and you don't know my intent, and I think it's sad.
Did you bug my room?
You know what? I was tempted, but no, I refrained. But I was seriously I think it's kind of a sadder commentary on the trauma that you guys went through.
We have a heightened level of paranoia after everything that we've gone through over the last 5 years.
Okay, there's police and they have handcuffs out.
NYPD.
What the is going on?
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything to prove that you are a bully.
But those walls were thick. I never heard one word from one other person on that entire trip. How did you hear anything?
But I really appreciated the recon you guys did to make sure that we could or could not hear through the walls. We did test it. You can hear through the walls.
Really clearly.
You can.
But again, it's like you said, it should
So
never
now I know
been
that
shared.
Angie knows that I was frantically calling Todd every night and being like, get me out of here. This is insane.
Britani was suggesting that I have bulimia.
I wake up in the middle of the night to the sounds of Meredith crying and throwing up.
She wanted us to do an intervention.
Well, there isn't one necessary.
It felt like she was insinuating something with food or that she was making herself throw up.
I'm sorry if you feel like I construed something and insinuated that you had an eating disorder.
I feel you did.
Why are you going that deep? To being able to put a rumor out like that about someone, that's insane.
Well, again, that's what Britani does. She puts things out there.
Does your dad know that you're
put him in the lineup,
guys?
Yeah, he's dating 8 women.
And then people respond, and she gets upset.
I did not call you a slut. You called me a slut. You started that. You started it.
I don't believe anything coming out of Britani's mouth.
Yeah.
I have very healthy eating habits, so have fun, Britani. Go do what you want.
I can see why she would be so upset, especially if she thinks that I was trying to insinuate that she has an eating disorder.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. How about you?
Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
But after the dinner, Meredith and I were fine. Kiss, kiss, oh, sleep well, I hope you have a great night. We're totally fine. And then we all know what happened the next morning.
Britani, you need to leave! You are vile!
And all of a sudden, I'm vile and disgusting.
Honestly, what bothers me the most is that there are so many people who do struggle with bulimia, who do struggle with a variety of eating disorders. It's not something to make false accusations on. It's like the hearing aids thing.
Borrow Meredith's hearing aids, turn them up, and hear me one more time.
You don't make fun of these things. It's not cute. It's not funny.
Well, the truth is, if Britani were concerned about you, and she brought it to me, and I felt like there was any kernel of concern, you know, I would be there for you.
Oh, thank
I would not judge you. I would support you. I would give you whatever help you needed.
Oh,
So but I just felt like she was being casual with things that you shouldn't probably bandy about.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, I literally had an eating disorder. I was bulimic when I was a teenager and a young adult. And so I don't take that lightly. I don't just throw that out there as an accusation. I know how difficult that can be for anyone struggling.
And that wasn't
so,
your intent. That's not what you meant.
It wasn't even in my
to,
head.
like, you were using it as a lead-in to
Exactly.
like trigger the conversation.
I just thought she had food poisoning. I mean, that's literally what I thought. I
mean,
was like, somebody has food poisoning. Oh, where's this coming from?
I got sick the day after I got home.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people do it. I've been sick in Mexico many times. That's what I was thinking. Oh, somebody needs Cipro right now. You know, the antibiotics. I have some in my bag. Should I run it over to Meredith? That was literally my thought process. So it was just kind of a cluster.
I think you guys just missed each other.
Yeah.
And if you had said, let's talk about our conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of starting it with like how your conversation started.
I heard you crying last night, you know.
I think it would have been better.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my bad.
And I mean, she was super upset with that. And I'm like, I don't think Britani means to hurt you. And I'm like, just share your feelings. Like, that's an opportunity for her to say, like, no, that didn't happen, but this is how I'm feeling right now. And it would have made her feel better and probably had a better ending to that whole situation.
For sure.